I'm not going to be playing crap. Well, I actually am. Welcome to Spinsters, a podcast where sometimes we do crossover episodes. I'm Haley O'Shaughnessy. I never say my last name anymore. I don't know why I just did that. Today, we are using an episode that we recorded at Summer League with the Long Shot podcast, which is a very good podcast hosted by Davis, Reid, and Duncan Robinson. This was very fun. From what I remember, it was not that many tequilas deep when we were recording this. And they are wonderful guys, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. Also, this episode is brought to you by doTERRA. doTERRA's Deep Blue Stick provides targeted, natural, and reliable relief without synthetic ingredients. You know me and Jordan love doTERRA. Learn more at doterra.com/spinsters. Here are the Long Shot guys. Basically, Gen Z does this stuff where they'll say flop or flop, and then they'll say something like camo pants. And bop is good.
Yeah.
And flop is obviously bad.
Camo pants?
Yeah.
Flop. That's a flop.
That's a bop. You gotta have it though. You gotta have
you have to be able to pull off. There's two kinds of camo. There's the camo that's like a cartoon, like it's just drawn on it, and then there's camo like I'm going hunting.
like real world functional.
I don't want you to see me below the
I think that real
waist.
world is cooler than
Than-
artificial, right?
Yeah.
You're
It's a
authentic.
real deal, yeah.
You're a genuine person.
100%.
Yeah. Cole, are we going? Because I'm gonna. Okay.
Missed cough button. Missed opportunity.
Do we need headphones? Am I okay with
No,
that?
you don't need headphones.
Can I maybe I want the headphones.
You want me to start going? I'm
No.
autonomous, guys. I'm
No
my own
headphones?
person.
Headphones. I do need the headphones.
Do I have to wear them? You can just give them direction?
But this feels weird now that you're not wearing them.
Yeah.
And we are.
Y'all, I thought we went over this. I have a small head. All I could see every time they cut to me last time was that I had these Dumbo ears.
That's actually an interesting question. What's more distracting, the people walking by or watching yourself?
Personally, I love watching myself, so I thought this was great. The people walking by is fun too, because there was like at the last time there was this like older gentleman who just stared hands on hips the entire time. And so eventually I just waved to him, but I really like that. I think that's good. That shows support. And also it makes you think that maybe people are interested. Do you know what I mean? So
Love that.
I like it. I'm responsive to it.
Sure.
However, I guess it depends on the person. For example, I saw Danny Ainge today in Earth Cafe.
Love Earth Cafe.
Me too. What do you order?
Depends what time of day, obviously. Lunch, I'm a big chicken curry sandwich.
Okay, I've never
Curry
had
chicken
that.
sandwich. It's good. Little side salad. And I usually do like a smoothie or something with it. But yeah,
That's filling, because their salads are very filling. I just get the Earth.
What's your
He eats
go-to?
an absurd amount.
Earth salad. I love
Earth
Hearts of
salad,
Palm. Yeah, they're the only place that I know that incorporates it, so I'm a big fan.
Love that.
But I'll put grilled chicken on it usually.
Smart.
Yeah.
It's your protein.
What about you?
Protein's important. Divine Date smoothie, obviously.
Oh, like dates, the fruit.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like dates, bananas, almond butter. maybe?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did we
that.
switch away from my graphic?
Look at the ball. Spinning.
Okay.
The ball's spinning.
Can we
moving.
just give a healthy balance? Sorry, Cole, I can't hear you. I don't have my ear thing.
This is an ode to spinsters, if you'll notice. The ball moving.
Okay, yes, we're good.
what
Never
we're doing.
mind. I'm back in. Okay, well, this is what I want to talk about with you guys. I made a list while I was flying today because I ran out of downloaded episodes of The Sopranos.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Doing
say
a
the long shot.
rewatch.
I've never seen this. I've actually never seen The Sopranos. So.
I think you would enjoy it. It's one that holds up.
I feel
It's
like
very fun.
that's like everyone's favorite show. Of all
Are you
time.
into mob movies?
Yeah. I wouldn't say that's like my thing, but I like mob movies.
I don't know how many mob movies I could list off the top of my
I was
head.
gonna say yeah.
Wow, I love a good like One Last Job movie. Like the guy is retired from crime.
Yeah, sure.
Then they need to bring him in to rob one last bank.
Does The Town count as a mob movie?
Yeah.
That's a mob movie,
Yeah.
right? Does The Departed?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Two Boston movies, two of my favorites.
The Italian
Great
Job.
stuff.
100%.
Mystic River.
Okay, see,
I've never seen it.
Mob vibes.
That's about,
Okay.
I would end there.
mob vibes.
I was just trying to tell the last pod we did, Stay Hot, that I think, Duncan, I think for your own sake, you should probably not have any like visceral reaction to this. that we should start incorporating the mob, like instead of tampering fines for owners, like we should do like mob threats and stuff, because tampering fines, it just doesn't really affect them at all. Like they're billionaires. If we up the ante and the stakes are all of a sudden, you know what I mean?
Not a terrible.
Something to nibble on.
I actually just saw something the other day that the Clippers, their payroll is currently the highest in the NBA. And their luxury tax, it's like 191 million or something like that.
Okay.
And Ballmer's net worth, if Microsoft stock drops 1%, goes down like 800 million. Wow. So the
if
idea
it drops
is
8%.
the point is exactly what you're saying, which is like, what does the luxury tax mean to this guy?
You know, when I think about things like that, I just want to say, like, write a letter and be like, can I just have $1,000? Like,
Right.
what is it to you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just
I'd like
give
to
me
get
$1,000. Yeah, it would change my life. But
Sure.
anyway, Steve Ballmer.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the close-up.
That was perfect.
If you're listening, I will even take 500. That would change my life. So
dollars?
yeah, dollars. So absolutely.
100,000.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is the best summer league stories. For me, as someone who's come here as a fan and just media, my best summer league stories all revolve around, like, I saw the Kyle Kuzma hype, like, birth story, A Star is Born origin game. All of mine are like, or I saw Mike D'Antoni get into an elevator and he looked pissed. Like, all of mine are very from a distance. So I think it'd be interesting to hear one that's actually insider instead of like me projecting a dramatic story onto them.
Dave, you got one?
This isn't a story, but I think what's most glaring to me is we've been to the Summer League, the last 5 years probably together? Because he played in 2018 and 2019.
Yep.
And those 2 years, he's in his hotel the entire time, eating the right food, sleeping.
Cooped up. Earth Cafe.
Cooped up. Because, there's so much pressure for these young guys. Like they're
trying to keep my priorities straight, trying to make a roster.
Cooped up in the hotel.
Cooped up. Okay.
He's trying to make a roster. And then the last 3 years have just been so different. It's such a different experience when you're here with a guy who's on a roster already. The entire NBA community is here. You see the camaraderie. You just see that you experience it in a totally different way. And so I'm just hanging on to his coattails at this point. So when I'm here his first 2 years and he's the struggling guy trying to make the roster, it's not as fun as when you're here.
What are you
and he's
doing
the
during that
comfortable
time?
guy.
Are you like giving halftime speeches in the locker
Me?
in the hotel room? Yeah.
He doesn't want to hear that.
No. What are you
Davis
doing?
mostly just stays out of the way.
I do. That's
his
number one.
responsibility.
The number one priority is to stay out of the way.
Okay.
So I'm playing like $5 minimum blackjack. Well,
We actually
What hotel does $5 minimum?
Ellis Island.
Okay.
Obviously, Ellis Island $5 hand blackjack, which is
Okay.
where you'll find me.
Okay.
If you want to smoke a pack of cigarettes without smoking a cigarette, you go to Ellis Island. You play $5 minimum hand blackjack. That's
That
my
is the
summer.
only place I will smoke cigarettes. I will say at casino, you've got to do it. Like,
got to lean into it.
Yeah, you've gotta
I
lean
don't
into
smoke
it.
them, but
you
I just
contractually probably have to say that. Okay.
I agree with you that if there was a place to do it, it would be that. I personally do not do that. But Ellis Island is a fantastic establishment. I think it was my first summer league. And it's a great picture to think of. Like, all my counterparts are, I don't know, maybe in the high rollers table at the Win or the Encore. And I'm just with Davis, Reid, a couple of our other friends.
We're at Ellis Island.
Just playing $5 hands.
People are walking by you
blackjack.
like, he's tall, trying to do the like look like,
Yes.
who is he?
Surely
at
he's not an NBA.
At that point, nobody's suspecting any NBA player to be walking around Ellis Island.
He's
But
putting
once
down
again,
quarters.
it
trying to
is
get
a
to-
fantastic establishment. I think you stayed there actually.
I don't know if I would sleep there, but I probably was there until the sun came up, if that counts.
Should we put
100%.
the win graphic up now? I'm just kidding.
From now on, all I do is stay at the Win.
Of course.
Obviously.
Clearly, yes.
Of course. Win is fantastic as well. But, if you don't necessarily have the budget to do a $50 hand, $5 hands over at Ellis Island.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So,
And then you come eat at Earth Cafe.
yeah, exactly.
That is the other plus of the Win, the Earth Cafe. Even though during Summer League, I feel like the lines get so long at Earth Cafe. You have to like time out when you go. Like, if you go during like peak breakfast or lunch hours, you're just sitting in line.
I went there at 3 o'clock today because it's when I got in and I was really hungry, but also because of exactly what you just said. I'm not going to go at noon. I'm 28 years old. I'm an adult. I recognize what is a good decision, what's not a good decision. And who else did I see there besides Danny? but Rick
Ainge
Carlisle.
Manning.
Rick Carlisle.
Oh.
Yes.
There you go.
So what does that tell me about him? Again, no expression from you, please. Maybe a better decision maker than I thought.
There you go.
You have any thoughts on that?
No, I actually don't have any thoughts on whether or not Rick Carlisle is a good decision maker. I mean, he's a fantastic coach. He's done it for a long time, has a proven track record. I mean, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
And he seems to pick adequate hours to choose to eat his lunch. which
Says
is
a lot
also-
about a person.
Yeah.
Do you have any summer league stories?
I have a couple. One I'm going to use names, one I'm not.
Ooh.
The one I'm going to use names is, this was my first year as well, or maybe it was my second year. They all start to blend together.
2018, 2019.
But I was walking through, I want to say the Aria Hotel. I was not staying there because I stay at the Wynn, obviously.
Of course.
But I was going to dinner over there somewhere. And this was post-dinner. It was pretty late in the evening. Had a pretty late dinner. That's the other thing about Vegas I don't necessarily love. I like earlier dinners.
A
And Vegas tends to
9:30
do-
dinner? What am I
Is
supposed
that
to
like
do
a
with that?
digestive thing? Like you,
Well,
because
I'm-
as someone who suffers from heartburn, if I'm eating after 9 p.m., it's a disaster.
I was gonna say, well, that's a great point. Is if you're trying to get a good night's rest, you want to give yourself a nice little 3-hour buffer there. But that's a conversation for another time.
Is it?
No, I want to have that conversation.
I mean, we could have it right now if you want to talk about maximizing your sleep schedule. But yeah, I was coming back from dinner, so this was pretty late because we did one of those elongated dinners where you kind of just chop it up, that whole thing. And I'm walking through. At this point, it's like a pretty dead casino. But I see Gary Payton
Senior?
senior playing blackjack, but he's not playing because he is actively in a defensive stance, showing Ja Morant defensive techniques on like sliding. And Ja Morant was playing in summer league. I think he was a rookie. So that was, and he was like actively shuffling and sliding. And I just thought to myself, only in Las Vegas in the NBA Summer League do you get that sort of public demonstration from maybe one of the greatest defenders of all time on defensive technique. I was on my way and I stopped and actually I would have loved to have made me listen in a little bit more intently, but I tried to gather what I could from the conversation. Yeah, but that's one of them. The other one, this one will not be named, was a player
We can guess.
who was playing in the summer league and was a fringe guy, kind of like myself early on in my career. Had a chance to make a roster, but not necessarily a sure thing. And he had a good time in Vegas. And we happened to have a game the next day. And, games are all throughout the day. So this was a relatively early game. And he was walking through the lobby. This is I heard. I was not up at this hour to see this. He was walking through the lobby with his shirt off after a nice time.
Of a hotel?
Yeah.
Okay.
After a nice time out, and ran into a front office member of said team. I'm actually not even going to say what team it was, but obviously that did not end positively for this unnamed
Eyes
player.
are like bloodshot.
Yeah, just
Pupils
like
completely dilated. Like
from
yeah.
all accounts, very clearly it had a fantastic evening, just partying, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, that was kind of the end of his run. And
Oh my God.
yeah,
do
it didn't take long.
Literally, you could walk 3 steps either direction and run into an exec here during summer league.
Yeah.
That's
So-
the thing. But like where the disconnect is for me is like, why don't you just come back to Vegas the following weekend? You know what I mean? Like,
Or just stay, yeah.
yeah,
Stay.
like, or, just when it's not going on. Like, we just got here. Our flight was a little delayed. And it's like, you can't not run into somebody. Right. So it's like, if you're going to be put yourself in a precarious situation in terms of, how you look, whatever, like, just try to avoid doing that at all costs.
Yeah,
Would
for
be my advice for those asking. And maybe nobody's asking.
For sure.
But, for what it's worth.
I have one more story that just came to mind. Last summer we were here and we were playing craps because Duncan's a big craps guy. That's become his game.
I have only played craps once. That was the last time I was here. Richard Jefferson taught me how to play.
Love craps.
We
Great team game.
We lost. If anyone's asking, he loaned me some money that I have not repaid, and I won't until Steve Ballmer. You take me up on my offer,
Yeah,
please.
Steve.
I need you.
500. We'll go to 250.
that is, as a big gambler, I'll say, like, to my detriment in almost every situation except for roulette, it pains me that I cannot really pick up on craps. So after this story, would love to hear just any advice on craps, because I don't like losing, but alongside that, I also don't like doing things I'm not good at. So
fair.
I can't decide whether I should play or quit this time.
Couple things. One, I can relate deeply to
which part?
not wanting to do things you're not good at.
Okay.
I hear you.
What's your sign?
We need to, I don't want to go on too much of a
Oh,
tangent.
yeah, I need to do your chart.
I have beef with you because when you came on the pod, you came on the long shot, you said I texted you my birthday and you never sent me my.
Sorry, I've been busy with stuff.
Oh my God. I'm not buying that excuse.
Okay, sorry. I will look into your chart.
Okay, thank you.
After this.
We'll do it after that. Anyway, I'll keep the crap story short. We're playing craps because that's his game. It's a great game
craps.
because of the team. As everyone at the table wants everyone to win,
Which is fun.
That makes it fun. Luke Walton walked by and stopped in his tracks and came to the table and said, "I've never lost money playing craps with a good shooter." I think he was talking about Duncan. It could have been me, but I think he was talking about Duncan.
Probably you, Davis.
And so he kind of nudged his way in the table and played craps, and I think we lost money.
We lost money.
Yeah, we lost money.
That was a tough evening.
shit.
So
That was a tough
Duncan
evening.
is the first good
We bounced
shooter
back though before the trip ended.
to cause Luke Walton to lose money at the craps table. Just a fun fact. Just thought it was worth sharing.
Okay, yeah. I think that the chaoticness of just people walking up and starting to play too also is something I love about Vegas. Like, the last 2 times I was here, I'd never played roulette in my life. That's the, like, put it on black or put it on red one, right?
It's too
Yes.
short. That's too
I've never played
short-lived.
it in my life. I stayed on both times for maybe like 3 hours because I played it very safe. Like, I'd play multiple things, like none that contradicted each other. So I'd always been a little bit. And I
Yes.
think the guy, like, he liked me because I kept giving him chips, but I overstayed my welcome. I was there for like 3 hours, but I came out really on top. Like, I left way ahead. I got a nice little, you see that purse over
Hey,
there.
now.
So,
Love
yeah, I
that.
mean, it worked out for me. Not well enough, Steve Ballmer.
Yeah,
I still
Steve.
really need your help. So,
Steve, we'll go to 100.
my Venmo is at Haleo something. So just
$100.
anytime you want. But when I was playing roulette, this same man would just come up randomly, put $1,000 chip, like on, not even just on black,
It's on a
on a
random number.
specific
Oh, no.
number,
Love
like
that move.
18.
Love that, man.
Every single time would lose and
Yeah.
would just walk away.
What is
Not
that?
even say a word, no expression on his face. Pupils completely
Yeah.
black.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it. Yeah.
the lights
Cold-blooded.
were on. No one was home.
That's a man in a dark place.
Yeah,
That's
it was
what that is.
real. Honestly, really scary.
You get some of those in Vegas, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, you get more in Michigan at that.
Oh
casino.
yeah.
Do you really?
That's the thing. I mean, here there's so much energy. There's so much going
Yeah.
on. You still get some of that. You go to a casino in Michigan, where
Yeah.
it gets really.
He's he's alluding to the fact that when I was in college, a teammate of mine, we would very occasionally, not often, but we would occasionally go to the MGM in Detroit or Greektown in Detroit. There's a couple of casinos, and yeah, the vibes in those casinos are just very, very different than
Dark.
the Wynn, which is
Yeah.
what
I mean, that's
special
where you're
place the
chain
Wynn is.
smoking.
Yeah, what a special place to win.
Yeah, love the win.
We love the
Love the Wynn.
Love dinners at the Win.
We love craps at
love
the
free
Wynn.
dinners at the Win. Yeah. Love staying here. I can relate to exactly what you guys are saying. The casino in Louisville is a boat, like it's not legal there, and it is just a
There's one of those
fun
in Kansas
place,
City.
but a dark place. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen Ozarks, but the casino there is the casino in
Yes.
Louisville, Kentucky. Yeah.
Grayscale. Everything's just washed out.
Yeah, like, no, everything's carpet. So, like, the walls are carpet.
Yeah.
The floor is carpet. It's all red. Yeah, it's just a dark place.
It takes you back to like your elementary school gymnasium.
Yeah, exactly. The woman who's like dealing, like when she's gonna ask you, like, "Are you ready?" It's like, "It's gonna be it. It's gonna be it, sweetie," and you just have to say yes and accept it, even though she's younger than you. She is calling you sweetie.
Shout out to the dealers that help you through the game.
I love that.
The
Yeah, that's
best
really
used
nice.
part.
Like people
Yeah.
who on blackjack, because I love blackjack, but I don't know enough. You know, like I could
Every
know more.
time you sit down, you need to act like it's your first time because
they'll
they will
help you
always
through it.
help you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Collaborative.
everyone though. Most people, and those shout out to those people.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
sure.
the book says to stay here. I wouldn't hit, but you do whatever you want. You know, it's like I love those people.
Yeah. they're
Shout out to
really
you.
Supportive. Yeah. Exactly.
Shout out to you.
Especially at the Win.
There's a lot of cameras in.
A lot of those at the Win.
I'm a little overwhelmed by the cameras in here. There's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, you're not used to being on TV at all. So, yeah,
Not
definitely.
even a little bit.
Well, this is a very different setting than what we normally do our podcast. Normally, our podcast is like over
Literally this
Zoom
iPhone.
or it's an iPhone.
It's on this
I mean,
iPhone.
that's our production level.
I was talking about
We're looking-
national broadcasts that you often play in
Understandable,
basketball,
but that's once you step in between the lines, the cameras just kind of disappear.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know, he did a pregame interview while warming up. He did one of those.
Where were you shooting?
Yeah. No, actually, they wanted to do it shooting. This was during the finals, I think, or Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
In the bubble, they wanted to do it shooting, but I was like, my shooting routine is too sacred. We can't mic me up.
Yeah.
And
Boundaries.
camera on me for that. Yeah,
Of course.
created some
Boundaries.
boundaries. So I do like a little weight room activation. So we did like a little. I think it was Rachel Nichols, I believe.
You were like doing.
Yeah, I was doing like my activation.
He was on
stuff.
a medicine bowl, like doing
And
some.
she's like talking me. So like, talk me through what you're doing here. I'm like, just warming up to play some basketball, like trying to get the abs nice and activated. But yeah, that was an uncomfortable experience.
That sounds awful.
Shout out to ESPN though, always just trying to push
Yeah.
the boundaries.
Peel the curtain back, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I probably wouldn't. Now my thing is like Pilates. I'll go through phases.
Love Pilates.
I played soccer for a long time, and I would say compared to my talent level at everything, like a disproportionate amount of competitiveness. Like I'm not good enough to be as competitive as I am.
I think that's a strength.
That's a good quality to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, like my gambling record would probably say otherwise, but
Okay,
I
fair.
will go through phases. Like, so I had a 2 mile phase where I was obsessed with getting my 2 mile to like a specific number.
Can I ask
Yeah,
what we
what's-
got to?
I don't know, because I don't think it's fast compared to other people.
I promise
sure it's
it'll be
very fast.
Yeah, it'll be
okay,
good.
You don't have to
13:20.
That's
Oh, it's
really
great.
good.
Yeah, that's great.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then I was obsessed with getting my mile to a certain time that I'm not going to share because I know that's not impressive. It's in the sixes, and that's all I'm going to say.
That's good.
That's good.
No, but it's in the high sixes. Okay, and then I was obsessed with boxing because I was like, I've never punched someone before. What if I have
Yeah,
to
there
punch
you go.
someone? And so then I was obsessed with boxing. And now my latest thing is I'm obsessed with Pilates.
Love Pilates.
But if anyone for a second, because Pilates is more about intention than it is sweat, hard work, the high intensity interval training. For a second, even when I'm peaceful in Pilates and like barely doing anything, put a camera on me, I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
I'd slap it away from them. So
Yeah.
for you to do an ab
agree.
activation,
Yeah.
kudos. But also I know, so a close personal friend of mine is a hacker, ethical hacker. Like
Yeah,
she's allowed to do it
I
by the
have
government.
a lot of follow-up questions.
Yeah,
to
so
that.
she's a
that's-
hacker. She can hack into things. And if you want that footage deleted, I can help you out.
Okay,
We
that's
might
pretty
need
cool.
to discuss this
Yeah.
afterwards.
Yeah,
because
that's
I would
a
love
sick connection.
to see that scrubbed off the internet.
Yeah,
Or
for
like-
sure. I can help you out.
Yeah.
My next question, I'm just like baiting for anecdotes here,
love
is
it.
best trade,
Mm.
like free agency type of
No.
stories.
I thought you were just gonna ask best trade.
Oh yeah, that'd put Duncan in a really good spot.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'd
really,
appreciate
like-
that.
Best trade.
Dave, you want to leave this?
Yeah,
leave
yeah.
This one off again.
Best trade deadline.
No, because that's not even topical. That doesn't
Just
like
trade-
free agency.
Free
Like
agency.
this
Okay.
period right now where we're in, where it's like things are kind of weird.
Yeah.
And who's talking, who's not talking? Are you hearing from your agent? Are you not?
Mm.
My stories are all boring. It's like I've been near a player when literally a media person will come up to them and be like, I'm gonna literally one time I saw a media person tell a player that he'd been traded before he'd been traded. And that's my wildest free agency story. But I remember thinking if I'm a witness to this and this
Yeah,
guy
what
is
else
just
has
saying
happened?
exactly, yeah. So I've always been curious.
I'll lead off with just a couple. One, I remember. I know this isn't as topical, but trade deadline
Okay, no.
is always
let's go.
is always a pretty crazy time.
If you take my story, we're gonna have some issues because mine's trade deadline as well.
I'll tell two quick ones. Last year's trade deadline, there was a lot of, 2 years ago trade deadline, there was a lot of.
That's his story.
I'll make this one.
Basically, every trade deadline.
He's been in every trade deadline. He's especially in some trade talks now. But
you're damn right.
it ended at 3 p.m. Central. The trade deadline. There was a lot of Duncan to Toronto for Kyle Lowry.
Why would
rumors.
you bring up that were they all saying Central Time? Because that is a
It also
stressful one
wasn't-
to figure out.
I live in Kansas
I don't
City.
think it was 3 p.m. Central. I think it was 3 p.m. Eastern.
Maybe. I live in Kansas
I
City.
never know I couldn't tell you right now what time it is in Central Time, even if I knew the time zone, like every other time zone.
Is Louisville?
Is it -2 or -1?
Louisville
from
is Eastern?
Eastern.
We're an hour behind you.
Behind.
Yeah. So it's 3 o'clock in Louisville. It's 2 o'clock in Kansas
See, I
City.
just feel like you consolidate.
Everybody's just all on the same
Shouldn't
time.
exist.
I'll say this.
sure.
I am actually really pro that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. It should be. Yeah. I think that's a good idea.
All right, fine. We'll we'll do a time zone conversation later. Duncan called me at let's say it was 3 p.m. It was when
Central?
Eastern.
Okay, can we just stay
See,
on the
here's
same
this is
fucking
classic.
time?
This,
zone?
here's the confusion.
This is what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
10 minutes before trade deadline was
Okay.
over, he called me, and we're just on the phone together, just refreshing Twitter, just expecting to see Duncan Robinson traded to the Raptors.
Are you really on Twitter? Like that is really
So I'm gonna wait because I want to tell my
your version
My
of the
version.
event.
I'll end that story there so he can tell his version. But it was just that will always stick with me, like refreshing Twitter on the phone with him, just waiting for it to hear his name pop up.
And are you guys on FaceTime?
Yeah, I think we were on
Yeah,
FaceTime.
okay.
On the phone, maybe FaceTime. Similar story this year when free agency opened, which was, let's say, 2 p.m. Eastern.
Wait, are you talking about like 2 weeks ago?
2
A
weeks
week
ago.
maybe?
2 weeks
Okay.
ago. He called, it opens at, let's say it's 5 p.m. Eastern. He calls me at 5 p.m. Eastern. We're on the phone. He's like, Dave, I just want to be on the phone with you while this happens. Because again, there's no secret. We know that his name is.
Wait, did that
Yeah.
happen? I don't even remember.
Yeah,
that
so we're on the
happened.
phone together.
Aw,
He might have just made that one.
It was
up.
such
I mean,
an
it
amazing.
probably
It was a great friendship moment. So we're on the phone together. Once again, I'm refreshing Twitter,
Uh-huh.
and I'm just reading off. Oh my God, Rudy Gobert just got traded. Oh my God, whoever just got traded, and we're just waiting to see if his name pops up, and it didn't.
That
So
was mostly though, like
That's really
the
cute.
signing craziness.
It was free agency, yeah.
Yeah.
So signing,
Yeah, but
trade.
I mean, to
it's
be
all
fair,
starts
a lot of
popping off.
trades,
Same
yeah.
idea.
But it's so fun for fans. Like the NBA season is all year round because the off season is just as exciting. All this shit is going on. All this stuff is going on.
Oh, you guys don't cuss?
No, we're a not kid friendly podcast.
Oh.
If you've got a child, keep them away from the luxury. No, it's so fun for fans when all this stuff is going on. But now that I see him in it,
Yeah.
it's
not
just
fun.
it is insane. Like he has no kids, no family. Not, All right, hold on.
No
Alex.
friends.
I'm
He's
alone.
alone in this
Let me
life.
rephrase.
alone.
He has no kids with him. He has no family in his home with him in Miami.
Okay.
But even still, like he has a house he just bought. Like getting
Yeah.
traded, it uproots your life.
It's so stressful. I know. Actually, we on Spinsters we did an episode where we interviewed players who were like traded very suddenly without any notice, and a lot of them would talk about it like they either found out online somehow or the GM would like ask them to come in, but it'd be like very quick or something. But like everyone else in practice, it was very apparent they knew.
Yeah.
And after you hear something like that, you can't help but be like, I know this is a game to everyone who's a fan, but this is like somebody's life.
It is.
If somebody told me right now, you're moving to like some other organization and you have absolutely no say in it,
See,
and
Portland, Oregon,
I mean, yeah,
Washington D.C.
you could be naming like slightly worse places. Like
Yeah,
to make
yeah,
your
no,
point,
these are
but-
just like no. My
but
point
yeah,
is just
no,
you have to
but
move.
Exactly, you just have to move. And
I was
like,
gonna shit on AC.
maybe like you have certain things that you have going on. Like maybe you have a Pilates membership.
Of course.
And you
Right.
don't want to just uproot it. There's certain things and you really get attached to a place. So yeah,
Yes.
it sucks. That would be the real estate part of it all would stress me out
Yeah.
because especially right now, the market's not great. So the interest rates just went
For
up.
sure.
Like,
And people aren't gonna have sympathy. I mean, these guys get.
No, if anything, people are like, what a dumb trade.
Yeah.
This guy fucking sucks.
Right.
It's like
But
just
it-
not
yeah.
at it's
Gotta uproot
brutal.
your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Craziness. So those are my biggest takeaways. Just like seeing how stressful it is. Not that he's like always stressed out, but I get stressed out.
Well, no, I understand it. Like, it's got to be on every player's mind because the thing that I think gets brought up by fans so much is that players now are having more autonomy than ever.
Right.
And that
Player
upsets some
empowerment.
people, player empowerment.
Well,
but
some
at the
players.
same time, it's like, but this happens also with the organizations. Organizations that like this can just say, never mind, we don't really want you anymore and you're going over here.
Do you know
Thanks.
how many players in the NBA right now have no trade clauses in their contracts?
One?
It's a trick question.
Look at her. There's one.
If I had my hair down, I'd be flipping it.
Bradley Beal.
He just got one.
He
He just got one.
He would be the only one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's very impressive.
I was actually going to say 0. I didn't.
But you would have been wrong if you said 0.
So I asked the question without knowing the answer.
Dunk, what are your...
So I'll reflect on that. The first one that he said, which was last year, the trade deadline. I know that's not the exact time you're talking about because you're more talking this time. But yeah, last year we played that day. We played the Portland Trail Blazers, and I usually take a nap right around like 2:30.
We've talked about this.
That day I was not taking a nap, and it was interesting because I was texting with Ramona Shelburne because she had reached out, and it was more. And I love Ramona; she's fantastic. So this is not an attempt to drag her in any way, but she reached out, and I thought it was more just as like a friend. I don't think she was looking for a scoop, but she was just kind of like, "Hey, I don't think you're gonna get moved. Just checking in, seeing how you're doing." Nice text. I asked her jokingly, I was like, "So should I take my nap or not?" LOL or something like that. And I didn't take my nap. And then I turn on the TV, I think when I got to the facility, and she's on the TV talking about our texting interaction and talking about, Duncan Robinson was asking me whether or not he should take a nap.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, this feels like a little maybe violation of trust.
Yeah.
I mean, I love, seriously, and she actually apologized and like, we cleared it up. So there's no bad blood. But like that instance of like thinking that you're having a private conversation, it was just like another subtle or not so subtle reminder of like, this is entertainment and business driven, and that anything that can be repurposed as content will be done.
Yeah. It's difficult for everything to be reminded that's transactional.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
And that's kind of like the essence of all my experiences, is that realization of like, this is very transactional. Like even right now, and I've actually gotten really good at, I only listen to like 3 or 4 people that actually I feel have like valuable information, where like if they speak, like there's actually some truth to it. There is so much noise and just like shit being thrown at the wall over like, oh, well, this is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or like, some rumor over here, and it's like all smoke and mirrors. And, if you get caught up in every little thing that gets talked about, or even like most of the stuff that gets talked about, you're not really doing yourself any sort of favors.
Yeah.
So I've tried to just like stay out of the way as much as possible, focus on what I can actually control, because at this point, I can control absolutely 0 of what happens in terms of like the trade stuff. So.
Yeah, he doesn't have a no trade clause.
All you can do at this point is not walk into the win at 9 a.m.
Exactly.
Honestly,
topless.
what would that do to his career?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
People would
think
love it on Twitter too.
Well, I mean, it's different. That's like time and situation, right? Like now, it's not as much of it. I'm not playing some of
You're a
these.
fat
It's
guy.
Like, no, that's not at all what I meant, but you know what I mean.
We're about to wrap, but I have a quick question, which is, I love thinking about what NBA players do during the summer and the off season. So what do you do during the summer / off season?
I have a very boring answer. I basically just work out. I try to see my friends, my family, people that I don't get to see. I try to like pick up a new kind of like hobby or something, or do something that takes my mind off the game of basketball. Right now, I'm taking golf lessons.
Oh, that's great. Me too.
Love that.
I'm ass. Yeah, I'm really bad. Yeah.
So I'm trying to do that, improve my game a little bit. It's a slow grind, it's a challenging game. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, obviously the priority right now is like getting better at basketball. But you find some time in between it all to be in Vegas and travel a little bit and do this and that. But try to keep the main thing in that regard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's his line.
What do you do in your off season?
Well, I just booked. I haven't told work about this yet. But I just booked a 3-week trip to Europe.
Whoa!
So I'm
Is that
really
on
excited.
Palmer? Is he covering that?
Yeah, Steve Palmer again.
Wow.
This is going on my credit card. So again, would love any kind of donations. Thank you in advance. Yeah, and also I've been going to the range with my dad.
Love that.
I've been trying to learn how to golf because I have a lot of friends that golf, and Yeah, I'm hurting my back probably more than I'm like succeeding, but I pick up something every single time where I'm like, oh, you shouldn't try to hit it as hard as you can. You should just make sure that you are getting a good connection on the ball. I took up like film photography recently. I'm a little bit better at that. Yes, and I am taking Hungarian lessons. My grandpa's Hungarian, so I can get citizenship if I just can learn to speak tiny bit.
God, that's a busy schedule.
Amazing. Talk about a productive summer. Goodness gracious.
Good for you.
What are we doing?
Well, you gotta
with
get
our
away
lives?
from basketball for a little bit. Like it's like stupid that I'm telling you that, but do you know what I mean? You gotta like get away from your actual job sometimes,
I agree.
or you drive yourself.
Feel you on that.
Yeah. We have to wrap according to Cole. Shout out to Cole. You're
Shout out
doing
Cole.
amazing, sweetie.
Cole, you're great.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for letting me intrude on your podcast.
Kidding me?
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Let's go lose some money.
Let's do it.
Craps.
Cheers.